Our stay in Trivandrum brought us into close touch with a difficult problem, and one which had confronted us several times already during our journey through the South, namely that of the missionaries and the spread of Christianity in India. We had visited missionary schools, talked with Christian teachers, observed the pupils, listened to the stories of many young students, and seen the result of conversion on the Hindu temperament. When in the West we talk of missions, whether Protestant or Catholic, scenes rise up in the minds of most people depicting poor heathens brought to the one true religion, snatched away from the worshipping of idols. An unprejudiced study of the whole situation opens up new vistas of thought and leads to deeper understanding of the many questions at issue. In the first place, Hinduism is one of the finest religions of the world, even though, like many others, it may need reforming and purifying. This work is actually being carried out by various religious bodies such as the Bharat Samaj and the Arya Samaj, as well as the Brahmo Samaj. So great a scholar as Professor Max Muller once wrote, "In the whole world there is no study so beneficial and so elevating as that of the Upanishads. It has been the solace of my life. It will be the solace of my death." If these words required any endorsement, I should willingly give it as the result of my own experience during a long life devoted to the study of many philosophies and many religions. A series of unbiased research into Hinduism shows that it is worthy of the closest attention and study. Indeed, it contains a never-ending store of the highest wisdom and transcendental knowledge, tracing out in a marvelous manner the various stages leading to union with God, the one all-pervading life, in whom we live and move and have our being. At one time, the religions under then Christianity used to be spoken of as heathen, and the expression is by no means obsolete. It is now stated by men of science that man, as we know him, has been in the world for at least 1,000,000 years, and the view is fast gaining ground that in the divine providence, other great teachers were sent into the world at one period or another to help forward the work of God upon earth. There is a large school of Christian thinkers who hold that man is potentially divine, that Christ was the first fruit amongst many brethren. It is only a step forward from this idea to the teachings that those divine qualities were also richly developed and manifest in the founders of the other great religions of the world. It seems incredibly narrow-minded to declare that any one world religion should exclusively contain the truth and to class the others as heathen. Is it not showing a wise discrimination to recognize that all faiths contain valuable spiritual guidance, emphasizing but different facets of the one eternal truth, and are therefore equally to be respected? Certain elements of this divine truth were stressed according to the age and people to whom the religion was given. Apart from this, all religions have been subjected to change and development, some of the original teachings having been lost or distorted. God is above all religions and can only be known and realized when the individual soul, doctrines and dogmas, having served their purpose, enter into the region of spiritual experience, alone the beginning of true knowledge. This stage can be reached and has been reached, whether a man believes and worships the Christian Trinity or the Hindu Trimurti of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. A visitor to India will be struck by the fact that Hindus, recognizing this to be so, never seek to convert anyone to their faith. When questioned, they invariably reply, "Why should we desire to convert you to Hinduism? Your own religion, if properly understood, will give you all the help you require. But if you find teaching which appeals to you and our great spiritual heritage, you are welcome to avail yourselves of it." That is surely the best way of understanding and practicing true tolerance, in which feelings of superiority have no place. It is noteworthy that many deeply religious Hindus respect and love Christianity and feel great devotion for Christ, though they have no desire to change their faith. Indeed, their lives often show a far truer Christian spirit than many so-called followers of Christianity. What greater example can we find of this than the life of Gandhi? Let us now turn for a moment to see what happens when young Hindus are brought up in missionary schools. Here, education is not given solely for the sake of educating the masses and relieving the terrible illiteracy in India. It is also a means to an end, conversion being the main object in view. Hence, naturally, everything is done to Christianize the pupils and gradually change their outlook. The children begin to get dissatisfied with their homes and families, refuse to dress in the Indian way, and are gradually cut off from all their true, simple ways of living. When grown of age, gratitude towards their teachers is often sufficient to assure the cherished result. Are they any happier? Has their conversion, whether sincere or external, enriched and uplifted them? From all we personally saw, and after many frank talks with Christian Hindus, we must reply in the negative. What then has been the result? They have not only lost the benefit of the spiritual wisdom handed down through the ages by the great rishis of ancient India, but they have been separated from the very life of their country. With their religion, they have rejected the traditions and customs and the understanding of their own motherland. No longer do sculpture, painting, music, singing, and dancing find a deep response in their hearts, for all these forms of Indian art are permeated by the faith which they have been taught to regard as inferior and largely false. Feeling themselves separate from their Hindu brothers, yet not utterly at home with Europeans, whose Western outlook can never be quite their own, they are doomed to suffer from such isolation. Whilst traveling by train or bus, we were nearly always able to distinguish converted Indians simply by observing their manners and attitudes. Strange to say, they were often conspicuous by a certain aggressiveness towards their fellow passengers and had an air of superiority and self-esteem that we had never noticed amongst the Hindus. Indians, as a rule, show great respect towards all religious teachers, but are quick to judge if the actions of one who preaches a spiritual message are in conformity with his belief. If Christians came to India leading a life of utter renunciation, teaching and feeding the poor, impelled only by an all-embracing compassion and love, and above all demanding nothing in return, they would do more to awaken admiration and respect for Christianity than do all the missionaries. The opening of the temples to the outcast is enabling these unfortunate people to come back into the folds of Hinduism, where they find spiritual guidance adapted to their needs and compression without being tempted to embrace the Christian creed out of sheer physical and moral misery. Was it surprising as we wandered through the town of Trivandrum that we should have entertained a feeling of regret each time we came across one of the innumerable churches whose bells, sounding strangely out of place, chime the hours, continually reminding one of their presence?